All right, it's 9:30 on this Friday morning, and we continue to follow a big news story out of the UK. Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, and the husband of Britain's Queen Elizabeth II, has passed away. He was 99 years old.
So joining us live this morning, Nina Dos Santos, where she is live in the UK this morning. Nina, it's about 2:30 where you are in the afternoon. What has the mood been like all day?
Well, we found out about the passing of Prince Philip just a couple of hours ago, so people are still digesting this news, but as you can imagine, there's a sense of sadness across this country because he was held in great affection. He was the longest-serving consort of any monarch in this country. Remember, he married the then Princess Elizabeth about 5 years before she ascended to the throne back in 1947, and they were together 74 years. Together, they had 4 children, 8 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren, the last of which was only born about 2 weeks ago to Zara Phillips. She's the daughter of Prince Philip, Princess Anne. So there is a sense of sadness, but there's also a sense of acknowledgement that he was at an advanced stage and he had been in and out of hospital quite a lot over the course of the last month or so. He spent much of the month of March in 2 London hospitals being shuttled back and forth, treated for different conditions. One of those conditions we understood to be was a pre-existing heart condition, and as we now know, he has sadly passed away at the age of 99 at one of his favourite palaces, by the way, the Queen's favourite home, Windsor Castle, around about 20-30 miles away from the capital city, London here.
Nina, certainly a lot of people followed his journey. A lot of people know his story. The UK and the British family, though, has had a lot of attention in the past month after the conversations that have been had with Meghan Markle, with Prince Harry, with the royal family. What does this do to all the conversations, to all the pressure and the scrutiny that's been put on Buckingham Palace?
Yes, I think one of the things people really want to know as soon as possible is whether or not Prince Harry will be making his way back here to spend time with his family in this sad moment for the royal family and indeed for the rest of the nation. We await to see details of that. Something we await to hear more about is also the funeral arrangements. Remember, big state funerals like this for passing monarchs of such a significant seniority who've given so many years of their lives to public service in this country are usually big affairs. They take years of planning, they follow very strict protocols. But remember, at the moment, this is a country that's still emerging from COVID lockdown. So there are COVID restrictions to consider that currently make mass gatherings illegal. So we await to hear more details about how exactly all of this will be arranged. In the meantime, there have been some acknowledgements from Buckingham Palace. Its website is now faded to black with that statement of the notification of Prince Philip's passing that was also pinned to the gates of Buckingham Palace, which is customary fashion when you have a death or a birth in the royal family. Then an announcement is made by pinning a framed announcement onto the gates, and we saw that earlier today. And we've also had flags lowered to half-mast. The British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, has taken the time to make a significant speech at Downing Street to remember the accomplishments of Prince Philip and also essentially to pay homage to a man who he said was, and I'm paraphrasing here, the glue that held the royal family together over the last 70-odd years through all the good times and the bad. Remember, this is a family that's been rocked by events like the death of Princess Diana back in the late 1990s. More recently, as you said, the controversy surrounding the interview given by Meghan Markle and Prince Harry as well. Through all of that, he was very much a rock for the monarch, the Queen. And so, obviously, a lot of people will be feeling for her in this moment of grief as well. And condolences have been pouring in for Her Majesty from right around the globe, and world figures to acknowledge that too.
Nina Dos Santos reporting for us live in the UK this morning. Nina, thank you so much.